How's it going, my lovely Death Disciples? I am the Shattered Reaper, and today we are going to be showing off a League of Legends match, which we haven't really done in a long-ass while. I will apologize for that, but today we got a really good one to make up for all the time. Some of you who have been a part of the League of Legends community may have known that Gwen is now an official member of the Champions roster in League of Legends, a cast member. As you can see, this is her in one of her skins right there, and this should not be focusing on her right now. It should be focusing on me. For a while, I did not recognize that the game was on because I accidentally had the volume off completely from when I was doing this during classes. Well, I mean, it was actually for Teamfight Tactics. I don't remember why this volume was off, so I can't really explain that part. But anyway, for a while, I did not know it was the match had started, so I was a bit late to the party. But we are facing off against Sejuani here and Galio, so I decided to start things off and show off my entrance with a failed Piltover Executioner shot. But me and Morgana are both chasing after Sejuani, and Morgana just barely manages to hit Sejuani very thoroughly, and I am able to manage to kill Sejuani with a nice first blood for our match. So very exciting thing to start off with, a little bit of teamwork from me and Morgana. So like, yeah, we do the work. We are a quality team so far. I decided to set off a ward over in the jungle so that we could have a little bit of security in our, for the river side. And I decided to do my usual thing and just wait until there are some last hits available for me to start this whole shebang off with. And here I'm able to get a nice 3 minions to take care of. From the melee ones. I did mess up a little bit on that ranged minion, but I did get that last one, so it's 5 out of the 6 first minions to get. And Morgana, she's playing a little bit sneaky in the bushes, which I do appreciate. That is something that supports do need to do every now and then, be a little bit sneaky, especially with Morgana's ability. Since she has an ability that can be seen, it's probably sometimes a good idea to go ahead and hide a little bit so that they aren't aware of where you are firing your abilities from, or at least that's something I like to keep in mind. Sometimes that's criticized, and that's understandable, but at the same time, I kind of understand that perspective, so sometimes I like to try hiding a little bit too. But right now, I'm simply just focusing on getting the farm, as is Misfortune at the moment, so I'm just waiting until there is a health bar that is available for me to take advantage of. But Leona is going in straight after me, and things are definitely not looking too hot now. I barely managed to get out of there, and I decided to pop off a health potion so that I can have a little bit of extra health. But Morgana definitely looking out for me. And, Leona, for some reason, she has Smite. She probably forgot to change that in the, character, selection. I don't know how, but, it did happen. Anyway, Leona is definitely taking a bit of damage from us, and, it's just not a fun time for her. So, but, you know, not really a fan of Leona anyways. I mean, she's a fine character. It's just like she's working for the pure side and acting like she's the good guy when it's like she should just get with her girlfriend Diana already. Why do you keep denying her love for you, Leona? You have the same feelings, and you are just rejecting both of them. You are pissed at yourself, don't lie. And, anyway, so, with that, lore drama out of the way, because I'm all about that lore drama, let's be real now. Anyway, so I missed that, Piltover Executioner because, I was trying to go for Misfortune, but it messed up on all ends, didn't even get a minion that was nearby, so that didn't really work out. But I do set off a nice little, Yordle trap over at the tower where people tend to like to step on it every now and then. Like just right now, Leona just decided to step on it, so I decided to just shoot her in the head for her clumsy mistake. Silly Leona. You just falling into everyone's traps except for Diana's because you just have to keep denying her like that. I'm sorry, I was supposed to be done with the lore drama, but clearly I was not over that. My mistake. Anyway, so we are still competing over the farm as of right now, focusing on it heavily, and it seems like Misfortune really wants to go after me with her little bullet barrage that doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. Once again, I fire another headshot over at Leona, just to remind her what she's missing out on with... I really need to stop. That's just getting old, and I need to stop. Anyway, send over the Piltover Executioner so that I could get some damage on that minion wave, and if only I could have gotten that trap on Leona so that I could double on Morgana's Q, which, by the way, very useful combination to have. The Yordle trap and the and Morgana's Q, very helpful to have, which is why both Morgana and Caitlyn make such a powerful team. And, definitely took an opportunity with Miss Fortune, but here things kind of get a little bit ugly, where we get ganked by Sejuani. And, I try to go after Miss Fortune, but she uses her heal, and, once I realized that Morgana has died, I realized things have taken a bit of a turn, and then I died. So that really did not go well. Kindred shows a little bit late to the party and tries to just nope out of there. And, well, it doesn't really go well, as you could probably guess. Both Kindred and Kane, they both don't really get it well. But Kane does get Miss Fortune, so that's something, I guess. That's something out of the entire thing, but was definitely not an even trade. But from here, we just kind of go from there. I decided to go over to the jungle because I did see that there were some low health people, but they'd already left, so I just decided to go back to my lane and just continue farming and all that fun stuff. They are pushing in our tower a little bit, so I decided to use the Piltover so that I could have more opportunities to farm for minions. And I did miss most of the minions. I did get a number of those minions, but I missed a good number of them, which did not help me out at all. But since Miss Fortune isn't here, I'm able to just catch up a little bit, so I don't really have to compete with her on getting last hits, although I still should be doing a little bit better. If we could pull this up. So far, I definitely am doubling Miss Fortune's CS, so far I'm doing pretty well in that. We both have the same amount of hero kills, so it's not too much of an issue. But I am definitely outnumbering her, and I am starting off with the pickaxe as well as the cloak of agility, along with the culling and a couple of health potions. I have been picking the pickaxe more than I have the noon quiver. Even though the noon quiver is more expensive, I realized that picking the pickaxe along with some components of the noon quiver or the cloak of agility actually is a bit more useful, as it turns out. To me, I decided to get a headshot on Miss Fortune so that she can know, like, okay, I may be farming, but I know how to balance that along with shooting that pretty face of yours. So you best be ready for me to be coming at every opportunity, girl. So yeah, that's basically how this whole thing is going. I get the last hit on that section of the shielding for the turret, thus getting me and Morgana a little bit of extra cash. So, definitely works for everyone here. I mean, except for the enemy team, but, like, who cares about them? Anyway, so, Morgana being a little bit aggressive with her abilities, which I do appreciate, and depending on what starter item she has, which, if it's the one that I'm thinking, I think that might just be, I think it's pretty useful because it offers the extra gold whenever, yeah, she does have the item that I think she has. So she does get a little bit of extra gold every time she uses an ability on an enemy champion. Let me just make absolute sure. Yes, she does have the starter item for supports, which is the Frostfang, which I use for a lot of my supports. It offers 15 ability power, 70 health, 75 base mana regen, and 3 gold for 10 seconds. It also has the Tribute, which is the thing that I'm talking about. While nearby an allied champion, damaging abilities and attacks against champions or buildings grant 20 gold. This can occur up to 3 times every 30 seconds. So very useful to have. And as Morgana is checking up in the river, I am focusing on my farm, just making sure that I get whoever I possibly can, and just making sure that we keep pushing in against that tower, no matter how hard Miss Fortune keeps trying to think that she will be able to accomplish. Morgana did miss her Q a little bit there, but after the minions kind of die off, I then just back off a little bit so that we can continue the song of dance of like, hey, I'm gonna kill your minion wave so that I can go ahead and damage your turret, and just keep picking at it until it finally collapses and falls apart because I'm just so amazing. Because I'm Caitlyn. Caitlyn is just that fabulous.
So will you.
And so, Then, after we push the next wave, and Misfortune is most certainly trying to get some last hits on my own minions, I once again get another section of the turret, and get a nice headshot off of Misfortune. Then I get some nice shots on Leona. After avoiding the ult of Misfortune, I go ahead and I shut down Leona with a nice ace in the hole. And then, Misfortune decides to be aggressive. She does recognize the Morgana's right there. I accidentally missed my tilt over Executioner, but with a headshot in my auto, I finish off Misfortune, thus getting us a pretty good start. Sure, I died once, but I'm coming back, girl. I am coming back and I'm ready to I'm ready to fuck some shit up. Why am I trying to censor myself? I'm not having to deal with getting paid. I already tried that before, and that's how I lost my first channel. Why did I try to censor myself? I have no idea why. Anyway, so far, I am making up half of the team's kills, with Kane coming in at a close second with 2 kills, although he does have 3 deaths, so that's a bit unfortunate. But Kindred is, Sejuani is working on the dragon, and I was thinking of coming up over to the dragon. I use I use my traps, my set of traps on her, give her a little headshot just to remind her not to come after me, set down another trap, and she learned from the last time and just leaves me alone. And I managed to escape with just barely enough health with my amazing recall animation, because I'm Caitlyn, I'm amazing. And I am amazing as Caitlyn, so you know. It's just
Blue team double kill.
And then there's Riven, who actually is a very important character in this match because she tends to be a very powerful adversary, to say the least, and you will most certainly see why when we get around to it. But anyway, so I buy myself some new items, which basically, I buy the new mythical item for my kit, which is the Gale Force. The Gale Force giving me 60 attack damage, 20% attack speed, and 20% critical strike chance. Active Cloud Burst, dash in target direction, firing 3 missiles at the lowest health enemy near your destination. Prioritizing champions deals a total of 213 magic damage, etc, etc. There's a fight going on, so I'm not going to explain the entire thing, but another ace in the hole finishes off Leona once again. That's right, you go in your pure light, bitch. I'm sure Diana ain't gonna miss you after all the times you just had to just ignore her calls. You absolute selfish Puritan bitch. I keep telling myself to stop, and yet I can't. But here I was going to go for a Misfortune kill, but she decides to go ahead and dodge my Piltover Executioner, and I decided to play a little bit of a 40, 60, 40 chess move. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. Leona arrives quicker than I was expecting, honestly, which is odd, honestly, but I decided to get a few pot shots on her, just so, like, for showing up, like she did when I did not invite her, but I finish her off once again for being so rude, and then I go ahead and finish off Misfortune, the person I intended to kill in the first place. Sejuani freezes me for a moment. I use my rope trap, and I use my Piltover Executioner to kill her. Riven comes behind, and she shuts me down, and at first I didn't think too much on it because it's like, okay, I was dealing with like a 4v1 situation, 4v2 actually, because Kane was also there. But yeah, it was a very difficult position, so it's like I didn't think too much about that at the time because I hadn't run into Riven a whole lot, but this was a mistake. This was an absolute mistake. Again, you will see why. Gwen and Kindred wrecking things up in the top lane, but you know what? After that extremely amazing play, I'm definitely feeling pretty damn confident. I'm feeling pretty good with a total of 7 kills and 2 deaths with a nice 300 gold bounty, even though I just died. And I also had the 100 CS, which means I no longer required the culling because I got all of the monetary benefits that I needed from it. So I decided to sell that bitch and instead just go ahead and get myself some nice berserker greaves because, you know, fashionable footwear is always important, especially if it makes your attack speed very fast. And then there's also the serrated dirt, which is to build up for the, I can't remember what it's called, but I know it's an item that gives me money whenever I kill somebody. But again, I don't remember what it's called. You'll see what it is later. And also a pickaxe, and then a couple of health potions, because it's always nice to have a little bit of a backup plan and a way to regenerate health a little bit faster when you need it. And so I just continue farming the lane. Just keep farming, and it seems like Misfortune did have the Kraken. She decides to go ahead and use her double tap, which is very rude of her again. Bitch. What, does she think she's more stylish than me? Does she not see my outfit? Does she not see my sniper rifle Lazarus right there? Does she not see that I have some jetpack boots? Does she not see this fabulousness that I have in every sense of the word? This futuristic magic-y tech sort of thing? That's me, girl. What have you got? A Napoleon captain's hat? Maybe some fine drag, I will admit. That is pretty good, but, let's be honest. Mine's better. We all know it's better. Leona, however, does, as I tried to I got a little bit confident in going after Misfortune there, so that was a bit of an issue. I got a bit cocky, and, and do you also see the hair? Do you also see my hair, Caitlyn's hair, in her skin? Do you not see how beautiful and fabulous it was when you saw it? It was just neon pink, okay? That's pretty damn stylish. Purple on the outside, neon pink on the inside, that is some absolute style. And I don't think Misfortune should be competing with me on that. And also, like, just...
Red team double kill.
Here I am, just on my way to the battlefield, just revving up my jetpack boots while I'm reading a book. Do you not see the level of intellect I have, Misfortune? Okay. Anyway, so I'm heading back to my lane, and as you can see, the Drake is about to come up, and Leona is currently the only one in the front line of the combat, and for some reason I stopped over here. I think it was probably just to send a chat. I don't know why, but because I don't have access to the chat in this, I can't necessarily say, but I do notice that Kindred is going for the Drake, so I decided to go in and help her, especially since her health ain't looking too good. So yeah, I think a little bit of help is in order. Morgana joins the fun, as well as Leona sort of retreats, and we all help each other out. And Morgana gets the final kill on the Drake, or the final hit to kill it. And so she is able to up her stats in her milestone stats, so that's pretty nice. And then, after putting down a little bit of a support ward, I decided to go out and help with Galio, who seems like he wants to try and be a big boy and help out at the front line. But then as I launch off my Piltover, I get frozen by Sejuani. But Galio, once again trying to prove he's a big boy, he's out in the front lines, and well, he just dies. Then Sejuani gets caught in my trap, and then I just shoot her right off her beast, to which her beast then lands on his back for a nice double kill. And I got both the buffs of the blue and the red. And then me and Morgana double team on this turret, and it is beautiful. Morgana gets the last hit, so, you know, she gets to have the credit. And then I just decide to have a little bit of fun and shoot the little minions, and just have a little bit of fun with it. And after clearing another minion wave, I decide to go up into top wave because Riven seems to be pushing a little bit there. So why not go ahead and give her a little high with my gun? To which Kane obviously started with his size, but you know, my gun would have been a much better welcome. Kindred is just giving her a barrage of magic arrows, to which I help her out with some magic bursts from Lazarus, and I get the final blow by shooting Riven right in the full face. And so yeah, that took her out of her stream, her kill streak. And then I also happen to notice that Galio is trying to take down one of our wards, and I try to say hi to him, but he does not respond too kindly with that. So he tries to punch me in the face, and Kindred and I double team him, and Kindred gets the last shot right in his chest, wherever it goes. I don't know what Kindred prioritizes. I just know I always go for the head, especially with what Thanos said. Anyway, where were we again? Oh yeah, Kindred killed Galio, and yeah, Galio's not really having a fun time as far as I could tell in this. But we do have two Drakes. We have the Water Drake and we have a Cloud Drake. Meanwhile, the enemy team does have an Earth Drake, so they have a little bit more armor, but we have some regen as well as some ability haste in that order with the Drakes that we have killed thus far. And let's go ahead and take a look at our thing here. Morgana does have the Imperial Mandate. That's my usual for support builds. Anyway, there's a battle going on against Sejuani, but everybody's just teaming up on Sejuani with Gwen, getting the final kill with her abilities. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to be playing as Gwen at all, because I don't really know her kit at all, or her abilities. Maybe I could practice on that, but she kind of works in a role that I don't really do that often, which is top, which I used to enjoy. And then I kept dealing with Timo. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Timo. He's a little bitch. Anyway, with my Timo hatred out of the way, and my having to lose out on playing as Darius. Why, Timo? Anyway, where was I? Oh, right, yes, we were clearing a wave, and I see that my teammates are working in the enemy jungle against Galleona, another person. Sejuani is also coming in, it looks like. But meanwhile, I'm just working in the mid lane, and then I notice that Riven is pushing my lane, and you don't walk into my lane and think you're gonna get away with trying to tear down my turrets, you see? So I go in, and first things first, I go straight for her. I go in, shoot her right in the buttocks before she notices me and realizes, hey, I got a bunch of armor and health, so let me come at you. But then she kind of dies from everybody ganging up on her, with me shooting her right in between the buttocks. So yeah, that's what you get for thinking you could compete with me and then kill me, bitch. So yeah, Riven is dead, and it is all thanks to me. And I didn't really take a look at my kit, now that I think about it. So here we are. The Collector is the item that I build in, and hold on a second, because now we are dealing with Sejuani right here, who thinks she can match with me just because she is a tank, but sorely mistaken. Even though I am retreating in order to get further distance from you, I am still more powerful than you. I move out of the way of Miss Fortune's ultimate, and I was about to ult Miss Fortune while she was in her own ult, but Morgana already killed her, so she got her streak going after a nice double kill from her, so good job on you, Morgana. Meanwhile, because I am on low health, I decided to just go ahead and back, get a little bit of replenishment and all that. And, so yeah, 11 kills, 3 deaths, and 6 assists is where I sit at right now. And as for the Collector, I get 55 attack damage, 20% critical strike chance, and 12 lethality, which is very important to use on armored enemies. And it also gives me death and taxes, dealing damage that would leave an enemy champion below 5% health, executes them. Champion kills grant an additional 25 gold, so very nice to have, at least for an item that you're not going to sell, which I do eventually sell, but it's for a good reason. And then I have the rapid firearm. Right now we're taking care of another Cloud Drake, so more ability haste for us, and uh-oh, looks like Galio wants to have a little bit of fun, and well, it doesn't look like it as well as we have been helping, because now we're all just kind of dying, and Riven, well, she was not happy about me shooting her in the butt. I repeat, she was not happy about that, and she just goes ahead and annihilates everyone. Although Morgana, she's trying to get out of there, and she probably should. But she did throw off a nice Q against her, and also throws off a few nice abilities against Riven. But anyway, so yeah, did not work out that well. I also have Rapid Firearm, which I wanted to mention earlier, 35% attack speed, 20% critical strike chance, and 7% movement speed. It also gives me Energized, moving into attack will generate an Energized attack, and especially Sharpshooter. Your Energized attack applies 120 bonus attack damage. In addition, Energized attacks gain 150 bonus attack range, so definitely very Caitlyn style thing there. I also have the Executioner's Calling, 15 attack damage, but Ren dealing physical damage applies 40% greatest wounds to champions for 3 seconds, which affects their regeneration. And here we are dealing with a big ass team conflict right here. So far we are turning into a bit of a Cold War standoff. Meanwhile, we're just murdering some minions because we can. And then Sejuani is the one that goes in. Morgana kills Leona, which I wanted to go for before, but, you know, she had the ability down. And I shut down Riven, which is pretty good for me. I wanted revenge, so I got it. Which is a basic cycle of constant revenging against each other, and Kindred takes down Sejuani. And, yeah, so that's basically how that whole thing goes down. And, yeah, I have the Executioner's Call, which is meant to build into the Mortal Reminder. I noticed there's some action up over there. I wasn't able to see Galio there, but I did kind of know Galio was right there, considering the abilities that I did see, which looked very Galio-like. Here, however, we are trying to hunt him down, we're chasing him, and we're just going to make sure that he does not escape. I use my Gale Force to get close to him and fire off some missiles, and Morgana gets the final blow on Galio, thus getting her somewhat revenge on some Demacians, because Demacian sucks. That's right, I said it, you Demacian fanboys and girls. Try me. Fight me. I will fight all of you. Anyway, that aside, we now are sitting at 12 kills, 4 deaths, and 9 assists. And, yeah, as you can see, Gale Force has been used. And now, we are dealing with Riven, but I am focusing more on the damage dealer, Misfortune, but Riven is also a damage dealer. It's just that Misfortune is more squishy. So I was still killed. So Riven is definitely being a pretty damn, star player for the enemy team. And that's not good for us. Kindred and Kayn are just keeping their distance, making sure that Riven doesn't kill them, and all of that. One of my traps, Sejuani gets herself trapped into, which she seems to do a bit every now and then, it seems. But yeah, that's pretty much what happens, and let's see. We do get ourselves Mortal Reminder, which gives 25 attack damage, 25% attack speed, and 20% critical strike chance, along with 7% movement speed. And Sepsis, dealing physical damage, applies 40% grievous wounds to enemy champions for 3 seconds. Dealing 3 consecutive attacks to an enemy champion enhances this effect to 60% grievous wounds against them until the effect is allowed to elapse. And so here, I fire an ace in the hole to go after somebody, but it does not kill them, unfortunately, because Galio got in the way. So because he decided to waste my ult, or no wait, it was Leona that got in the way, but still, I got to avenge it, and me and Misfortune duke it out, and unfortunately I did not pay attention enough to my health to realize that Misfortune was in fact going to beat me in that fight. But she does get killed by a combination of Kindred and Gwen, both being at low health, but you know what, they use their movement strategically to take her out, so works out. But yeah, do not waste my ults, or I will come after you. And that is exactly what happened with Leona. She decided to waste my ult, and so I killed her. I murdered and I killed her. But the Sepsis, anyway, I wanted to mention before we got into the battle, Sepsis is very useful against, against champions that have a lot of regen. So if they have some, if they are a tank hero that has some health regen, or have some items that offer health regen, have the Mortal Reminder as an ADC. If you have somebody that is using a lifesteal item, or has some natural lifesteal, get the Mortal Reminder, because then they will not be able to regenerate health. It's what I normally use because I want to make sure it takes care of the tanks as well as the squishies, so it's very useful for me to have in the end, basically. We are kind of waiting on the dragon a little bit because enemies are on the way. I kind of use my back away a little bit. I'm in a bit of a tight situation because everybody around me has just died, and Kayn is the last one surviving. And everybody just kind of dies, which means that the enemy does in fact get a cloud break, which means they get more abilities from that. So with that, the team has kind of been taken down, except for Morgana. She is the only one alive, and it's not looking too pretty for her at the moment, with every one of them still being alive. Misfortune going after the red buff, it looks like, and everybody is just going after the Baron. But I think it's fair to say that it will not necessarily go well for them. Morgana decides to use her Q on the Baron, and she's just waiting for her opportunity to go ahead and just hit the Baron. Just sitting right there, just waiting on him. Meanwhile, I'm back. And I decide to, I don't really know what I decide on, actually. I decide, yeah, the Baron is dead, but Morgana kills Sejuani, and Riven kills Morgana, unfortunately. I was actually thinking of waiting on an item, but unfortunately that's not what happened, so that's why I sold the health potion. But I still did not have enough money, and I also did not have time to waste in Fountain, so I decided to go into the fight, and I start shooting at Leona. Fire a Piltover Executioner, hoping to get Riven, but it was just not meant to be. Instead, I got Galio. I shot off my net, and even though Misfortune did kill me, I killed her right at the same time, and I also earned myself the Ace achievement. And the Baroness Shore effects that they had from killing Baroness Shore is no longer applied to them because they have all died, and thus they have wasted their kill of Baroness Shore. And it would have allowed them for a faster recall. It also would have made them and their minions stronger if they are around them. So unfortunately, their Baroness Shore buff has just gone to waste, and now another turret in the mid lane has just been torn down. Now, Kindred and Kayn are just going after Sejuani, and Kindred gains the ace from killing Sejuani with the entire enemy tree dead. But now Galio and Leona are going to be coming up, so basically it is a competition between both Kindred and Kayn as well as their tanks. But it's not necessarily the best thing to deal with, so of course they retreat, and I go in to try and regroup with the rest of the team. And we decide to head over to the river jungle and see about the dragon. Gwen is going after the Scuttle Beetle, and I decide to go investigate the enemy jungle a little bit. And I decide to put down a ward where I normally do, which is deep in that area of the jungle so that we can have some good vision within the area and see what the enemy's up to. And, yeah, that's pretty much what I like to do. I try to sneak up on Riven a little bit. I see Misfortune, however, but then I notice that things are definitely not in my favor, so I try to just get out of there. And, yeah, I just keep on running. We were gonna go up that pathway, but, Riven, cut us off, and, a little bit later, once I, got enough distance, I decided to pop out, but it's not enough because Riven decides to use her ability on me, because she's a bit of a damn biatch. She just has to take someone down with her. But ignore the fact that I also wanted to take Misfortune down with me if I died, so just shut up. It's only fair when I do it, okay? Shush. It's not fair when it happens to me. Anyways, that hypocrisy aside. Team is now dealing with Leona and her, as well as the rest of the enemy team, and our team definitely gets a huge beatdown. Morgana arriving a little bit late, but she uses her ult against them to the best of her abilities, and she tries to escape. She uses her Q on Leona, deals her W on them, and this is another good part where I come in, and I come in to try and save the day. I try to use my ace in the hole for some reason on Leona, but it hits Galio instead, and it does kind of work out because Galio does die, takes one shot to kill Leona, so it gives me a double kill. Then I go after Sejuani a little bit, but then I decide, let's go after Misfortune a little bit, and I get her as well. I fire at Sejuani thinking she's not going to deal a whole bunch of damage, but then she did, and she killed me, thus shutting me down a little bit, but you know what? At the same time, I got a nice triple kill, so that's pretty nice of me. That's kind of why you go for the squishies first. It's because they are more than likely bound to die, so it's best to go after them instead of focusing on the tanks, because that's the job of the tanks. They're supposed to suck up the damage, so you kind of want to, whenever you get the chance, just refuse them that opportunity. So instead of going after the tanks, when you see an opening, just go for their damage people, exactly like Sejuani did, and Misfortune failed to do when she was stuck in her ult. That's something you gotta keep in mind. And then Kindred is facing off against Riven, and it went as well as you probably expected, because Riven at the moment is able to do a bunch of damage and has also got a lot of health, so not the best of situations. But Kayn and Gwen are definitely trying to make the best of it, but Gwen does die, and so does Kayn. Yeah. Did not turn out as well as we would have hoped. But anyway, I do have Lord Dominic's Regards to help me with this, and it offers 30 attack damage, 20% critical strike chance, and 35% armor penetration. You may have also noticed that I sold my my collector, which probably was not the best of ideas at the time because it could have helped me a little bit still, but with Lord Dominic's regards, it gives me the Giant Slayer as well. Deal up to 15% bonus physical damage against champions with greater max health than you, which, guess what? Riven, Galio, and Leona most certainly do. So it most certainly helps me against those kinds of champions. But then, not only do I have Lord Dominic's regards, I also have the Infinity Edge. So that was what I intended to get first, but it took a little bit of time, and I got myself a little bit of a double kill right there. Let's actually back up a little bit so that I can see the first one, because I think I kind of missed it. This is Riven, as you can tell. Let's go back to me, so I'm back. I was a bit caught up with the item description. We see Riven there, and so we go right after both me and Kindred, and yeah, as you can see, items are working pretty damn well in this situation. Then Galio thought he could take me on, but then he just kind of got his bullet right in the back of his head, coming out his forehead. Then Sejuani wants to take me on, and Kane decides to kill her before Sejuani thinks she could do anything to me. So yeah, it did not quite work out well for them, but I decided to go back to Fountain so that I could regenerate. Anyway, so I have Lord Dominic's regards, and I also have one of my favorite items that I only bring out for a special occasion, which is the Infinity Edge. 70 attack damage, and oh, there's another battle, so I'll continue with it later. Then I get myself an ace against Misfortune and Leona. Actually, Kindred gets Misfortune, as we couldn't tell, but I did get Leona. That is what I got. Anyway, so Infinity Edge. 70 attack damage and 20% critical strike chance, along with Perfection. If you have at least 60% critical strike chance, gain 35% critical strike chance, critical strike damage, which makes your critical strikes even more lethal than they already were. So it's a very, very deadly combo. It's not something that I always do, but for a situation like this, I had to not buy the Storm Razor, which would have had enemies be a bit more slow, but considering the fact that our enemies have a lot more health than we do, I felt like getting the Infinity Strike would be a much more beneficial move than getting a Storm Razor, which would have made enemies slower, and it would have given more damage, and me a more movement speed. But again, Infinity Strike was the more beneficial move, as you can tell in this situation. I don't know why I sent off my Executioner off in that direction. I thought Riven was there, but yeah. Anyway, so now we are in a bit of a standoff. Sejuani going at the front though, and it turns out to be a bit of a mistake because she dies there. I get out of Misfortune's sort of barrage, and both me and Misfortune go down to each other once again, and now it's just Galio and the rest of the team, which works out well for the team. And Morgana definitely making some plays there, being a really dastardly and deadly support right there. Props to her. Total teamwork between Caitlyn and Morgana. It's kind of a shame that she only has 6 kills, but hey, all those assists definitely are showing. With the Infinity Strike, yeah, I already explained everything. Infinity Edge, sorry. Definitely makes a huge benefit for everybody, really. Then the enemy, our team makes a push into the enemy base, taking down their mid lane turret, as well as their inhibitor. Riven trying to hold off the enemy minions, which I mean, not that difficult, but hey. We gained ourselves our own advantage after they destroyed our own turret and our inhibitor, so a little bit of payback. Then the team goes for the Baron Nashor, and it's here that I return to the field of battle with my jetpack boots, just flying me on, and me just taking a little bit of time to refresh by getting some tea and some books, but then I realized I forgot to buy something, I guess. Oh, right. It was the Potion of Wrath, which gives me a very nice buff of being able to give me some extra, power, some extra attack damage. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to get. As you could tell by the effects that it has on the animation, I do have the Wrath. I decided to leave Galio a different direction, and of course he gets caught in one of my traps. Tried to use the Piltover Executioner, but I missed because it gets out of the way too early. I tried to focus on Galio, but then Misfortune reminds me I could shoot her through that wall too, but a little bit too late, unfortunately. But Morgana definitely trying her hardest to hold them off, despite being alone, but she is dealing some nice damage with her Q and her W, that combo. She's definitely doing her best, and it's all that we could really ask of her in this situation where she is alone against the world. She also decides to be a bitch to Sejuani a little bit, which I love. Morgana got some sass as per usual, but yeah, and also, ooh, yeah, that's some pretty deadly damage with that burn as well. So, very nice Morgana. There's a reason I like Morgana. She is just an amazing character, and the people who play her just amazing too. Well, this one at least. I don't know about the other Morganas, honestly. But we have definitely made some pushes, as you could tell, into their base, so they're definitely keeping themselves occupied on trying to hold them off there. Anyway, so now we are making our own moves, and we see that the Drake is ready to go, and it's a competition between us and them and getting the final Drake. So, we decide to take it on ourselves to go ahead and get the Drake before they do. And it's another Cloud Drake, granted, but like, hey, nothing wrong with some extra ability haste. I steal the Drake and the final hit, and Galio is also killed in there because he did not make the smartest move. I tried to snipe for their retreating enemy, but Sejuani takes the bullet instead, and I just go ahead and get my natural life steal to go ahead and take all of her health and rejuvenate me back to full health. Leona tries to escape, but yeah, she does. And I decided to put a ward up over there and investigate a little bit further, see where everybody is. Riven was right down they're all right down over there a little bit. But we decide that it's just not worth our time going down the bottom lane because they still have their last tower up. So we just decide we're gonna go ahead and go to the mid lane, push things ahead a little bit, and just get rid of their turrets once again. Riven coming in with her damage, but the Infinity Edge definitely not doing her any favors, and Kindred deals the final blow. I go after Misfortune for all the payback she dealt me, and I shut her ass down. And then also deal some extra damage against Galio, but he is saved by the Nexus being destroyed by Morgana, and that is a huge-ass victory for us. And we finish off with a nice 26 kills, 200 minion kills, 12 deaths, and also 21 assists, with my personal best of my takedowns, which is the kills and assists combined. So that puts me at 47 takedowns for the match, personal best once again, and also reaching a total of 330 takedowns ever since I got the milestones. So, yeah, props to me. I definitely have way more than that before I got the milestones, but, you know, milestones are definitely a good tracker for, like, when I got them. I don't know why I can't necessarily have them all the time, but, Anyway, so that is a victory for me, and I definitely did a pretty good job at carrying, if I do say so myself. However, Riven, yeah, she got 30 kills, 11 deaths, and 8 assists. So, yeah, she definitely outdid me in the getting the kills department, but I definitely come in at a close second, and along with a nice number of assists, so I feel like I did a much better job. I mean, sure, Riven, you had your time, but, like, if we had more time, I feel like my Infinity Edge probably could have, well, I'm not gonna try it because I'm pretty sure, like, if it got close to me, that probably would spell some issues, because, like, you know, sniper and melee, it doesn't really, not a really good combination that works out to my benefit. But anyway, that's how this Caitlyn match ends, with a little bit of teamwork from the Morgana, so I definitely feel pretty good about that. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video. Give that like button a stab if you did. Subscribe if you want more death in your life. Be sure the bell is tolling for thee. And until next time, rest in peace. Bye! Enjoyed today's video? Well, there's plenty more for you to enjoy here. And if you also want to support this small channel, then there is also my Ko-fi, which is available, as well as a Twitter thread that gives you my commissioning info. And if you'd like some traditional art or literature, feel free to DM me on Twitter. Thank you for enjoying the video and for your viewership.